As I sit down to record this, the crypto markets dipped a bit, nothing major, but I'll touch on that right at the start. Honestly, even with the slight downturn, the opportunities are only growing. Analysts I follow are increasingly confident that we're on the verge of something massive, a true breakout, and I'm convinced XRP is about to steal the spotlight this cycle. XRP has already claimed the title of the top performing coin since the election, and when the dust settles, I fully expect it to either be the best performing coin in the top 100 or at least right at the top. That's my bet. One analyst even described it as the bomb just got bigger, referring to the factors coming together to ignite this rally. Bitcoin dominance, it's set to plummet. Altcoins, they're ready to soar. And XRP, that's the one I believe will take center stage. And welcome to what will soon become the XRP show, mark my words. But before we dive in, let me be upfront. I'm not a financial expert. I'm not here to give financial advice, and you absolutely shouldn't make any investment decisions based on what I say. I'm just a crypto enthusiast who loves making YouTube videos for fun. As I record this at 4:55 a.m. Central Time on Thursday, June 12th, 2025, XRP is holding at $2.24, while Bitcoin stands at $107,499. The charts for XRP and Bitcoin are moving in sync. Nothing alarming or unusual, just some steady range-bound action. Honestly, every day I'm amazed watching XRP consistently hold above $2 since hitting its all-time high. It's a wild ride, but one that keeps me hooked. There were just one or two brief moments when fear swept through the crypto market, and XRP took a sharp dive. For a split second, it dropped as low as $1.61, blink, and you might have missed it. But other than that, XRP has comfortably settled above $2, its new normal. Remember a few years back, those of you who've been in the game for a while, when XRP used to hover around 20-something cents? Back in the fall of 2020, it was like the price was stuck on repeat. 22 cents, 25 cents, 20 cents, 27 cents, 23 cents. It lived there for what felt like an eternity. That was its normal then. But now those days feel like a distant memory. I don't think we'll ever see prices that low again. That chapter is officially closed. It's fascinating to reflect on how much has changed. Many of us remember when XRP prices hovered at what feels like ancient history now. Back then, $2 seemed like a dream. Now it's the baseline. Sure, there's always the chance it could dip below that for a bit. Some analysts say it's still possible, which wouldn't be unusual for market conditions like this. But overall, the market has spoken. This is the new normal for XRP. Now, here's the kicker. It's holding this price without any real buzz or hype. There's no market-wide excitement, no euphoric headlines. Well, except maybe from me and probably some of you, because we see what's coming. Sure, we're pumped, but the broader market, nay. They're mostly quiet, yet the price stands firm. Think about that. Just a few years ago, XRP only hit these levels during fleeting bursts at the peak of market cycles. Now, it's steady, unshaken. This isn't a flash in the pan anymore. This is just what XRP looks like now. Gotta love it. Yesterday morning, the blockchain backer shared an interesting update. CPI beat expectations. Month over month came in at 0.1% versus 0.2% expected, and year over year hit 2.4% versus 2.5%. The market reacted positively, proving wrong those who believe the tariff chaos would crush these numbers. Many experts had predicted Trump's tariff strategies would wreck the CPI landscape, but so far, that hasn't been the case. However, something else caught the eye. Check out this intriguing headline from NBC News. Report suggests Israel might be considering a military strike on Iran. Now, I'm not here to dive into that topic. This isn't the channel for it, but some are saying it's shaken the markets a bit. Could it be the reason Bitcoin and the broader crypto market dipped slightly? Maybe. In truth, markets often move due to speculation, and people love to pin those movements on whatever headlines are trending at the time. Still, there are moments when real-world events genuinely ripple through the financial world. It's worth keeping an eye on. Here's an interesting take from chart analyst Jelly. Nothing like a little war rumor to shake the markets. Bitcoin's back below 108K, but it's just setting up to form a higher low and try again. Price discovery is only a matter of time. That was posted at 12:27 a.m., just about 4.5 hours ago. He followed up with another thought that really hits. People often overestimate how much real-world events move the markets. The truth, it's rarely as big as we think. To put it in perspective, Jelly reminded us that Bitcoin soared from under 20K to 100K during the chaos of Russia, Ukraine, and Israel-Palestine conflicts. So Jimmy on crypto Twitter thinks Iran tensions will send Bitcoin to zero. Sure, Jimmy. Spoiler, it won't. It absolutely won't. Even when markets react to scary headlines, it's usually just a temporary blip. Remember COVID? The tariff drama back in April? Yeah, same story. And guess what's happened since then? Markets have roared back, proving once again they're a lot tougher than the fearmongers think. Check out this post from chart analyst Crypto Wizard. He's tracking the Bitcoin dominance percentage chart and it's heating up. His take, another confluence. The bomb just got bigger. It's ticking. Just when the market aligned, another bearish signal has appeared. A rising wedge is forming. And if it breaks, Bitcoin dominance could tumble. And you know what that means for alts. Big moves ahead. And as of Wednesday, Bitcoin dominance hovered just under 64%. But let's be real, it's not staying here for long. Structurally speaking, he's pointing out exactly what unfolds right before the market takes a dive downward. It's all about confluence, a layer upon layer of confirmation. As he mentioned, yet another piece of confluence aligns. And you know what that means for altcoins. They skyrocket, alt dominance climbs, and Bitcoin's price rises as expected. But here's the kicker. Eventually, profits start flowing out of Bitcoin and into large caps as investors aim to amplify their gains. It's the rhythm of every cycle. We're just not there yet. Nowhere near peak euphoria. It's clear, isn't it? People aren't flooding the internet with searches for crypto, Bitcoin, or even XRP right now. We're in a bit of a low point right now, and I'll probably dive deeper into that in another video. Don't have it prepped for this one, but let's just call it how it is. It's crystal clear. Break it down however you want, but the current conditions are exactly what you'd expect to see right before things absolutely take off. That's where we are. And honestly, I couldn't be more thrilled. Well, maybe I could once it really kicks into gear. But for now, the excitement is off the charts. Check out this post by chart analyst Rhett Capital. Plenty of insights here. This is Ethereum's market cap dominance chart, and it's a perfect reminder of how quickly narratives shift. Remember a month or two ago when everyone was saying Ethereum was dead? Yeah, called it out. Nonsense. Prices fluctuate. It's normal. I said it would bottom out somewhere around here and then take off. Guess what? Ethereum's price pretty much doubled after that. It's funny how that works, right? This isn't rocket science. Markets move and low prices don't mean something is finished. Fundamentals matter, and Ethereum's haven't changed one bit. Market-wide expectations for this asset class remain steady. So when the price dips, you know what that means. It's undervalued. Markets catch on, adjust, and boom, it doubles. And guess what? It's not done yet, folks. As Rhett Capital points out, Ethereum is making waves. For the first time since March 2020, Ethereum's market dominance has climbed to 10% in an uptrend. Well, folks, this is music to my ears. Just a month or two ago, it was sitting as low as 7%. Now it's above 10% and climbing. It's about to take off way higher than that. I won't try to predict the peak, but trust me, it's going up. Now, whether or not you hold ETH, that's totally fine. If it doesn't excite you, no problem. But historically, moves like this have sparked altcoin seasons, and I love watching it unfold. Short term, ETH might even outshine XRP. It's possible, but mark my words, by the end of this cycle, Ethereum will be put in its place. It'll be clear as day that Ethereum is XRP's tiny little sidekick. It's baby boo sidekick. That's exactly what's going to play out. Chart analyst Mikey Bull Crypto just shared some interesting insights on Ethereum's potential. His ETHUSD chart looks promising, and he says, honestly, Ethereum is looking solid technically. The next key resistance to watch, $3,900, 0 cents. Clear that, and we could be on the path to a major all-time high. Exciting stuff, right? Now, remember 2017? Ethereum started gaining momentum towards the end of the cycle, right alongside XRP, which even snagged that number 2 market cap spot for a bit. Could history repeat itself? Mikey isn't saying Ethereum will peak at $3,900, 0 cents, but even at that level, if XRP starts competing with Ethereum's market cap, we could see XRP hitting close to $8, 0 cents. When the euphoria kicks back in and we hit that golden window where nearly everything skyrockets in value, XRP is set to shine brighter than most large caps, if not the brightest. It's been beaten down, trampled on, and held back for too long. Blame the artificial price suppression, blame the government, but the market is already starting to push back. Just look at XRP, the top performer in the top 100 since November. And trust me, it's far from over. XRP has miles to go and the momentum is only building. Check this out. Matt Speed just dropped some solid insights on Ethereum. Ethereum has broken out and is now in a backtest phase. setting up for what could be a big move higher after this consolidation. Honestly, I'm not surprised. Maspy is one of the sharpest analysts I follow, and he nailed the XRP breakout cycle prediction. Now he's calling for more upside on Ethereum and not just Ethereum. He's pointed out that many altcoins are showing similar patterns. Curious? You got to see his posts. It's packed with analysis and charts. He's absolutely right. The asset class is moving in sync, treated almost identically across the board. Everything is aligning perfectly. Can you see the convergence? If you're an XRP holder, this is the moment to get excited. All the pieces are falling into place just as you'd hope and predict if something big is truly on the horizon. And honestly, it's starting to feel like, yes, this is really happening. Historical patterns back it up too. This is exactly what we should be anticipating. Check out this insight from chart analyst Javon Marks, one of the few who nailed XRP's breakout this market cycle. Props to him. He's eyeing the XRP/USD chart and claims support is locked in. The next big target, a jaw-dropping $9.63, signaling a massive 305% bullish surge. Bold prediction, right? Honestly, I can see the logic. Now, I'm not one to throw out price predictions, but I'm always up for discussing possibility. In this one, it's not out in fantasy land. It's firmly grounded in reality. Here's the kicker. Historically, XRP has loved making waves. Over the last 2 market cycles, we saw 2 major price bursts. The first was solid, but the second, a huge leap in dollar value. And even with artificial price suppression, thanks regulatory chaos, XRP still showed its strength. The biggest percentage jumps usually happen during the first pump. It's the one that grabs all the attention. But if you measure from the start of that first pump to the peak of the second, that's when things get truly wild. It all depends on where you're measuring from. ROI-wise, the first pump often steals the spotlight, but in terms of sheer dollar gains, the second pump makes the first look tiny. Take XRP in 2017, for example. It started at half a penny, then skyrocketed to 42 cents during its first pump. After that, it cooled off, consolidating around 20 cents for about 6 months. Now, fast forward to this cycle, it's no longer settling at 20 cents, but $2. That's the kind of shift we're talking about. It's wild to think back. Half a penny to 42 cents in one explosive move. It started at around 20 cents and shot up to $3, 35 cents, an absolutely massive leap in dollar terms. If you were there for the entire ride, that first pump was nothing compared to what could be coming. History has a funny way of repeating itself, and if XRP's initial spike took it to $3.40, imagining it hitting double or even triple that in the next wave, it isn't far-fetched. So when you hear $9.63 mentioned as a potential target, it's not some wild pie-in-the-sky idea. In fact, it's pretty conservative, especially when many believe it could go well beyond that. Even at $9.63, the impact would be life-changing. The future is looking exciting for XRP, and we might just be on the brink of something big. Chart analyst Steph As Crypto, known for his spot-on predictions, including XRP's recent breakout this market cycle, has shared a bold new take. His latest post reveals his XRP bull run price targets, and let me tell you, it's turning heads. Steph has speculated in the past about XRP climbing above $30, and while that's a lofty target, it's not entirely out of the question. Sure, I'm a bit more cautious when it comes to sky-high predictions, but even I have to admit, if the crypto market goes absolutely wild, and let's be real, it has a habit of surprising us, it could be possible. I won't say it's outright impossible, but I'm not exactly banking on it hitting that high this cycle. Still, he seems to think that's a pretty optimistic outlook. Honestly, I hadn't seen him frame it this way before. Here, he's calling $5.34 a conservative target. But let's be real, that would be disappointing. Like, really? That's not even a 2x jump from the 2018 all-time high. Not even a double? Seriously? We can't do better than that? Come on. And then there's Ethereum. Think about this. Ethereum pulled off something incredible. From the 2017 bull run to the one in 2021, Ethereum didn't just grow, it more than tripled. All-time high to all-time high. It climbed from around $1,500 to nearly $4,800 or $4,900 to insane, right? So now you're telling me XRP, after consolidating for what feels like forever, can't even double? Come on. I'm not buying that. Sure, I'll admit it's possible. I don't pretend to know the future, and this is exactly why I don't play the price prediction game. But if you asked me, my gut says otherwise. Honestly, I'd be shocked if it didn't do better. That said, there's a realistic target floating around, $11.22. Now, that's closer to what some analysts, like the blockchain backer, have been predicting. Even Chart Guy had similar figures. Maybe they were both aiming high, closer to $10. And hey, maybe they're right. They absolutely could be. If they are, hats off to him. But here's the thing. He's calling his higher targets optimistic, not realistic. He's got a $23 target and another one just shy of $37. Interestingly enough, despite usually talking about XRP climbing past $30, his more grounded take lands somewhere around $11. It's conservative, sure, but he frames it as realistic. And honestly, I can respect that. It's a solid, no nonsense perspective. Honestly, that's kind of how my brain works. Whether it's $11, $15, or $16, anything in that range feels pretty reasonable to me. Of course, my big disclaimer here is if the market goes absolutely wild, like let's say Bitcoin smashes through $200,000. I'm not saying I expect that, but if it does happen, there's going to be an insane amount of money flowing into the space. At that point, talking about $30 XRP, yeah, I'd be like, how does it not happen? I mean, if Bitcoin rockets that high and XRP, after being held back for so long, still doesn't take off, that just wouldn't make sense. Here's an intriguing post from chart analyst Crypto Insight UK, diving into the XRP/USD chart. He points out something worth noting. The RSI appears to be pushing above its moving average, a historically strong indicator. Take a look at November as a reference. The last time this happened, boom, XRP skyrocketed. Could history repeat itself? It sure looks promising. He didn't stop there. He also shared an XRP/BTC chart that's looking equally bullish and an XRP dominance percentage chart that could really take off. Currently sitting around 4% as of Wednesday. He's eyeing a potential climb to the 14-20% range. Bold, maybe, but surprising, not at all. At the current market cap, you're already looking at the potential for a 3-4x increase, which is exciting on its own. But imagine if the crypto market cap were to double. Now you're talking about grabbing 14% of a much larger pie. That's when things really get interesting, pushing the potential growth to a 6-8x leap. It's not as far-fetched as it sounds. Momentum builds fast in this space, and it all hinges on how much capital starts flowing in. The possibilities are huge. It's all about timing and market movement. Chart analyst Dark Defender has an exciting update for XRP. According to him, XRP is primed for a breakout on the daily time frame. Big moves are expected once it closes above $2.33. The signals all green. RSI is bullish, check. Ichimoku clouds are turning bullish, blue. It's all lining up. His optimism mirrors what Crypto Insight UK pointed out. The RSI, Relative Strength Index, has pushed above its moving average, a strong bullish sign. And here's a fun one. I love this post from chart analyst Bobby A, who said it best. XRP will soon go full-blown Cindy McCinderson. You heard that right. Cindy McCinderson is on her way. Another sharp analyst calling XRP's breakout to the upside. Sure, in the short term, we might see a dip, maybe a quick detour or pit stop. But if history's any guide, the trend is still looking strong for the upside. Just a reminder, I'm not a financial advisor. Don't buy or sell anything based on what I say or write. That would be a terrible, terrible idea.